All right. Shalawam, this is the brother Ra'aya
Brother Amawad
of GMS New Orleans coming at you with another lesson. But before we get started, as always, we're going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, RFID. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure to the end, and to the few sincere Akwath out there diligently learning in silence. Shalawam.
Shalawam.
And hey, with this lesson, we're going to get straight into it with Matthew chapter 21, verses 18 to 22, which is going into, the parable of the fig tree.
God. This is the gospel according to St. Matthew chapter 21, verse 18. Now in the morning, as he returned into the city, he hungered. And when he saw a fig tree in the way, he came to it. It's talking about YAHAWASHI. It says, and found nothing thereon, but leaves only, and said unto it, let no fruit grow on thee henceforward forever. And presently the fig tree withered away.
You can read it all the way through.
And when the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, how soon is the fig tree withered away? YAHAWASHI answered and said unto them, verily I say unto you, if ye have faith and doubt not, ye shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree, but also, if ye shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, it shall be done.
You can read verse 22.
And all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing, ye shall receive.
And hey, as the parable was going into, YAHAWASHI saw the fig tree and that it had just leaves, and he cursed the fig tree and it died, and his disciples marveled at it, at the spiritual powers of doing that. But what did YAHAWASHI tell them? If ye have faith such as the mustard seed, which I believe it says that in the same account in another gospel, and you shall not only be able to do this, but to move mountains. And hey, looking at this in the spiritual aspect, hey, by us preaching the words of YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, and having faith that these prophecies are going to come to pass, we are moving mountains. And we know in the scriptures, governments can be symbolic for mountains. And ever since, beginning with our apostles and elders, and with their apostles, with their elders, all the way down, to the youngest man, with us believing and having faith in YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, and prophesying, and as it said in verse 22, and all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believe and ye shall receive. And praying as well, we're bringing about the end of Esau Edom's rulership.
The end of his mountain.
The end of his mountain. And it said that the mountain shall be cast into the sea, which we know we can link that to Daniel chapter 2, and as well as Revelation 18, which we're going to get. That's what we're going to close it out with, which we're going to get later, where it talks about Babylon, Babylon the Great, which is the biblical name for the United States of America, being cast into the sea. And by us preaching, believing, and praying in YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, we are taking this man's kingdom down, because everything we've been prophesying, Egyptian turning against Egyptian, civil unrest, that's brewing. World War III and nuclear war, that's brewing. The MOTB, the C-hip implant coming to pass, that's brewing.
The nations coming against fake Israel.
The nations coming against fake Israel. The nations coming against Esau. Esau being revealed. The elect waking up. All these things that we've had faith in, believing these words and going out and prophesying of them, they are coming to pass as we speak. So truly, as YAHAWASHI said, if you had faith as this mustard seed, you should be able to move mountains. And the hopeful elect, which Abaratazah, we're of that number, we have that faith in YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, and we're preaching and praying in their names, and we are moving these mountains, moving Esau Edom's rulership.
This is a real quick one for you. This is the book of Micah chapter 4 verse 1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that in the mountain of the house of YAHAWAH shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it.
Hey, that's what we're coming into. The true mountain being established. The mountain or the kingdom of Yasharallah, the kingdom of Israel, the kingdom of heaven, which we're seeing it get put together right now. That third temple spiritually being built. We're prophesying it's coming, and then it's eventually going to come, and it's going to be the top mountains, which, as it says, all nations are going to flow unto. And when you go further into that verse, it says, the nations are going to learn of our ways, and they're not going to learn war anymore. And we have faith and believe in those things, just as we have faith that Esau Edom America, this beast system of the NATO and the EU is all going down. Our Savior's going to come, and what? We're going to be set on high and be in rulership.
Yeah, because that's our purpose. All right, the word to Zion, all right, Zion in the English, to Zion in the Hebrew means monument. It's really a mountain that's established on the shoulders of YAHAWASHI, which we can get that too in Isaiah. But when you look at a mountain, right, you see a hierarchy. You see a pinnacle, a peak at the very top, which that's YAHAWASHI. Then you see it gradually comes down, and that's the nation of Israel. You got the 12, all right, then you got the 144,000, and then you got the rest of the nation of Israel. It's a mountain. It's literally a mountain, and that's going to be cast above all of these heathen, all of the hills, all of these, the Edomites first and foremost, the Ishmaelites, so-called Arabs, Moabites, so-called Chinese, the Hamites, so-called Africans. All of these heathen nations are going to be at the bottom of our mountain.
Hey, it reminds me, now we're not relating the kingdom to a pyramid to you simple niggas out there, but they have that image showing the pyramid of society.
Yeah.
And that small peak at the top is the ruling class.
Yep.
Then it goes to what? It goes to each successive class that is underneath. And at the very bottom of that pyramid is the common man.
Yeah.
Just backing up what the brother was saying. At the top is going to be YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, and then, the elect. Then it's going to trickle down to the rest of the nation of Israel. Then what? The heathens. And then at the bottom, Esau, Edom.
Yeah, and that's the exact opposite of what we have today. Right? Today you have, the Rothschilds, the banking families, they're at the very peak. Then you have, the rest of the ruling Amalekites, so-called Jewish people, are imposters. Then you have the rest of the Edomites and the heathen. They lord over Jake. They come in our communities, and they have the United Nations. Every nation except the nation of Israel, the true nation of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They have a seat at the United Nations, and that's their mountain, man. And who's at the bottom? Jake. So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, mainly in the Western Hemisphere, you got Judah, so-called Negroes, West Indians, all right, West Africans that came over here. Then you have the Northern Kingdom, so-called Latinos. That's at the bottom of this man's government. So it's really, the kingdom is going to be everything flipped right side up. The actual rulers of the earth are going to be at the top of that pyramid, the top of that mountain, and the bases of the earth. The Lord calls them the bases of the earth. So they're the base of a pyramid. They're the base of a mountain, man. They're the absolute bottom of our government.
And to back you up, even below the nation of Israel, what was it saying? Revelation 11 verse 8, that great city where our Lord was crucified. Mm-hmm. They crucify our power, and his son YAHAWASHI here. He's held in, they don't even show his true image. They don't push his true words. He's held in derision here. He's at the very bottom in the society, then his people, and then as the brother was saying, then the heathens, then you got the average everyday Edomite, then the elites. Mm-hmm. But when the kingdom is established, it's going to be the exact opposite. Like we said, YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI at the top, the elect of the nation of Israel, the rest of the nation of Israel, the heathens, the Edomites, and then even below the Edomites, the elites, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all them, they're going to be the lowest of the low.
Darn.
And we have faith in these things because what? Again, with that parable, if you have faith as much as the mustard seed, you're able to move mountains. And that's exactly what we're doing right now, spiritually, and then the physical aspect is going to come into it, which you got that Matthew 24 and 14.
This is the gospel according to St. Matthew, chapter 24, verse 14. It says, and this gospel of the kingdom, and this gospel, keyword, this gospel. There's many gospels that have been preached, but there's one true gospel. It says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
And hey, what's the main way this gospel has been preached unto the whole world? Through what we're recording on right now. We're recording this video, and then it's going to be put onto the unicorn or the internet, and it's going to be beamed from one end of the earth unto the other, as it says in Psalms 19, a day nor night, no speech where their tongue is not heard. And then what was the end part of that Matthew 24 verse 14? And then shall the end come. The end of what? This current age of the rulership of the heathens, chiefly Esau, his mountains being cast down, like Babylon, being taken and cast into the sea.
Yeah, this real quick, this Psalms 19, I'll start at the top. The heavens declare the glory of Yahweh, and the firmament showeth his handiwork.
And that's talking about, those satellites and, low orbit space of the second heavens flying around and, beaming these internet signals, going through the feed horn, the unicorn horn, which is, those little satellite dishes that send and receive the signals.
Yeah. Of course, like we say all the time, the prophets didn't have the word satellite, they They didn't have the, international telecommunication. Those words didn't exist back then, so they used the word unicorn.
Because it looked like a horn.
Yeah,
Like,
it looks like
literally.
a unicorn, yeah. It says, day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge.
Hey, it's still day right now while we're preaching. The sun's gonna go down. A brother's gonna do a video at night. Other brothers are doing videos right now. It's safe to say that at every hour, while brothers are asleep or while brothers are awake, this gospel is being preached out there.
Because Israel's been scattered across the four winds, so there's prophets across the four winds. All right, when we're asleep, the brothers in London are getting busy, man. All right, there's brothers all over the world in different time zones. Like the brother said, at any given moment, this word is going out live. Then you have videos that are uploaded. You might have a video that's uploaded at 10 o'clock at night. Brother just riding home, doing a sit down in his car. He upload the video. A brother waking up 8 hours later. This is the first thing on his feed. Oh, let me check out what the brother was saying. So that's why it says, day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. So there's no point in the day where this word isn't going out. That does what? It boosts our faith, which leads to what? This mountain being destroyed. We're moving to Mount Esau, man.
And what, as the brothers, and our apostles and elders always go into, when, especially our elder Yakina down here, when have you ever seen a bunch of young, so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American men giving their whole life to preach the Bible? Especially going out on a Saturday to preach this word. What does that come by? Faith.
Yeah.
Faith in the word. Faith that by us, sacrificing our so-called lives in this society, which ain't shit, what? We will receive the kingdom. Yeah. Our mountains will be established, while this mountain shall be cast down.
Yeah, Jake sacrificing a Saturday, box, Jake sacrificing vacation, certain hobbies, different things that keep you in the world. Jake put all that off just to preach the Bible. Why? Because this is the truth. This is the first time the truth of the Bible has been declared. And it's moving mountains. All right, Babylon can't exist with Jake knowing who we are and acting accordingly, getting in line with our power. Just preaching this word alone is moving Mount Esau, is moving Mount Seir. That's why the heathen, specifically the Edomites, they spent so much money, spent so many years keeping us away from the truth. Because what did YAHAWASHI say? The truth shall make you free.
God.
Why would you spend trillions of dollars investing in a lie? Because the truth is tearing this kingdom down. Just the truth. You don't have to get combat boots and camouflage and march and do all these shenanigans. You don't have to make rap videos about the Bible. You don't have to use any gimmicks. All you have to do is preach the truth, and the truth alone is gathering the elect of the nation of Israel, which is doing what? It's moving a mountain just by faith.
God.
This is real quick, just to back up with the Micah. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 36, verse 8. It says, thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites, in Mount Seir. So when you read Mount Seir in the scriptures, it's synonymous with Idumea, with Edom. All right, so just like when you see Jacob, it's not talking about the man Jacob, our forefather, our patriarch. Usually when you see Jacob, it's talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. So when you see Jerusalem, that's talking about Israel. When you see Mount Seir in the scriptures, that's talking about Esau, Edom. And we're moving that mountain through this word. It all goes back to YAHAWASHI, that great millstone that's casting down this place, man.
I got two to back you up. First, the point, we're a people before we're a place. The same works for us. Jerusalem is a people before it's a place, just like Mount Seir. Basra is a people before it's a place. One of the brother Kaya's favorites, 2 Maccabees 5 verse 19. Nevertheless, the Most High did not choose the people for the place's sake, but the place for the people's sake.
And he chose the place, like the brother was saying, Basra. When you look at a map, the Mount Seir and also the land that was given to Edom is right by Judah. Why? Because it was known in prophecy that Esau would be exterminated and Judah would just take that land anyway. Esau is the only nation on the earth that doesn't have an inheritance. All the other heathen nations, after 1,000 years, they're going to be returned to their homeland. That's the hills and the smaller mountains in the scriptures. There's a governing body, which is the kingdom of heaven. That's the mountain. That's Mount Zion. Then you have the other heathen. They're going to be the hills. But Esau he's not going to have a government. In 1,000 years, he's just going to be exterminated. And right now, we're ushering in the beginning of that downfall. We're grabbing the heel off of Esau's foot, man.
Could you get me a Ezekiel chapter 35, start at verse 1? And this is another prophecy that is going into mountains and governments. It's another prophecy that we wholeheartedly believe that by prophesying these words and having faith in it, this mountain Mount Seir will be removed, and as it's about to go into, made desolate.
Perfect precept, right? This is beautiful. This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 35, starting at the top. Moreover, the word of YAHAWAH came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it.
And hey, the word of YAHAWAH bahasham YAHAWASHI came under the prophet Esdras, just as when we read these scriptures, and you know, the Holy Spirit is on us to break them down. It's come unto us, as it said. Moreover, the word of YAHAWAH came unto me, as it's coming unto us, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, which is exactly what we're doing right now. Hey, we're going into the gates of the nobles, as it says in Isaiah chapter 13, you know, putting these video epistles online. Hey, we're out in public, hey, in a place where Edomites dwell, like in a nice, literally, you got, where we're at right now is where a lot of Amalekites and rich people live. Hey, we're in the midst of our enemies, in the gates of the nobles, you know, so to speak. And what? We're prophesying against Mount Seir. We're in Esau Edom's, you know, one of the fatness of his dwelling places, telling him, look, all this you have right now is going to be taken away from you. And not just that, it's going to be utterly destroyed and burned with fire.
Yeah, and there's nothing you could do about it. All right? Edom could call the police on us, take us away. Doesn't matter. As we read in Psalms 19, this word is going out day and night in every language, which we didn't finish, but in every single language around the world, this gospel is being preached. So Esau could call the cops on us. He could actually kill us. It doesn't matter. This word's still going to go out no matter what. There's nothing he could do to stop this truth.
And hey, we've got faith. Hey, I'll say this, during the hour of temptation, you know, when Jacob's trouble comes, that we remain to have this faith. But hey, right now, you know, hey, we have that faith like the 7 brothers of the Maccabees, that even if he comes against us and puts us to death, what? We have hope in the resurrection. Yeah. We have hope that if we go down in this word, prophesying like a soldier of YAHAWAH bahasham YAHAWASHI, we're going to be at that elect number. But what? As the brothers told Antiochus Epiphanes, what? You have no place of resurrection. Nice. And that's exactly what we're telling Esau. You have no place of repentance. You have no place of your nation continuing after you go into captivity for 1,000 years. This is the last hoorah for you. And as the brother said, there's not a goddamn thing you can do about it.
At all. It says, and say unto it, let me read 2 again. Ezekiel 35 and 2. Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith YAHAWAH, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and will make thee most desolate.
Can I read verse 4 out?
I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am YAHAWAH. And
we know that mountains in the scriptures represent governments. So if a mountain is being made desolate, what? That mountain's being cast down. And we have faith in that. And we pray on these things. And YAHAWAH bahasham YAHAWASHI is making good on it. And what? Manifesting it right before our very eyes, fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, we can see these things transpiring right before our eyes, like the brother said.
Oh, you can read down to verse 9. Shit. I would say the whole chapter.
Yeah, Ezekiel 35 is it's straight to the point. It's like the book of Obadiah. It goes hand in hand with Ezekiel 35. It tells you how much the Lord hates Esau and why. Verse 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity and the time that their iniquity had an end.
And we've clearly seen that, you know, throughout the generations of our people being around these Edomites, it's been nothing but backstabbing, murder, rape, and robbery. And it's the very same thing today. Hey, that part of prophecy came to pass where we will go into captivity under the basest of men and be chastised. But what's the second part of it? As the elder brother Malcolm always says, you know, there's a manifest destiny part 2. Yeah. And the destiny of the nation of Israel is being manifest right now. That coincides with Esau going down.
It says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord YAHAWAH, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
And we can see what World War III is getting geared up. Those Amalekites, contrary to what the mainstream media is saying, hey, they're getting their asses whipped over there. And what? Esau in America is getting geared up to go to war against Esau in Russia. World War III is brewing, and nukes will be used.
God.
That blood, these very same weapons that Esau used to subject the nations are about to be turned on him and take him out of the way.
God. It says, thus I will make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out and him that returneth.
That's everybody, cutting off the entire nation.
Yeah.
That having that ultimately that Obadiah 1:18, that Basra bonfire. After that 1,000 years of hardcore bondage and slavery, every single Edomite man, woman, and child, young and old, getting gathered up and culled from this planet with fire.
God. Hey, fire cures leprosy.
Point blank, period.
It says, and I will fill his mountains with his slain men, and thy hills, and in thy valleys, and in thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword.
And hey, everywhere these Edomites dwell is going to get hit with nuclear missiles. And leading up to that, you're going to have Jacob's trouble, where in a lot of these Edomite countries in the West, there's just going to be, you know, chaos and hell breaking loose. Edomites killing each other, heathens killing Edomites, Jake killing Edomites, you know, Edomites killing Jake and the heathens, just a free-for-all.
Yeah.
And then ultimately those nuclear missiles, hey, that are just going to turn this place we're standing in right now, the United States of America, into a completely desolate, uninhabitable wasteland.
God. It says, I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy city shall not return, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh.
And when you go into that word, just like how it said he had a perpetual hatred in verse 5, when you go into that word perpetual, it means never ending,
Ongoing,
continuing to the future. So what it's saying in verse 9, and I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy city shall not return, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh. Malachi 1, though they say, hey, we shall return and build the desolate places, they shall build, but I will throw down.
God.
Hey, Esau came back into this final final rulership of his, this little season beginning with the Renaissance, and for the last 500 plus years, you know, you've been a terror under this planet, but you've just about reached those bounds which you cannot pass. And what has led to that? You know, the gospel being preached to the four corners of the earth, and then shall the end come. Now you're about to be taken out of power and ultimately become a perpetual desolation, the places which you dwelt and your nation as a whole.
God.
You had a...
Those that don't know.
Oh, con. Let me see. Let me go to mine.
This is real quick.
Oh, con.
This is Isaiah chapter 9. I'll just read 6 and 7. It says, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. Right, and who's this talking about? You Old Testament niggas that say that there's no son. Anyway, for unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty Power, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government, his mountain, and peace there shall be no end, upon the throne of David and upon the kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth forever. So that's what's going to happen, man. The government is going to be on the shoulders of YAHAWASHI, Mashiach, King David, the 144,000. That's who's going to rule. There's not going to be two thrones. YAHAWASHI is not going to come back and run for president. He's not going to approach the UN. I beseech thee, let me lead the... No, man. There's going to be bloodshed from one end of the earth even into the other. All of these mountains, these hills, they're going to be flattened, man. They're going to be beaten down.
Con.
Matter of fact, yeah, you got it.
And hey, I was gonna, go into the account of David, versing Goliath.
Mm-hmm.
And by David, having that faith in, YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, that he could take down King David. That David could take down Goliath. He was able to do so. Again, he had that faith. Just like as it said with the precept we opened up in Matthew chapter 21, if you have faith as a mustard seed, you'll be able to move mountains. That's the type of faith we need to have, and that's the type of faith that our forefathers had in the past that got them out of the dire situations they were in. Which, you had a precept you want to get?
Yeah, real quick. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 41 and 13. It says, for I, Yahweh, thy power, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, saith Yahweh, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth, and thou shalt thresh the mountains. Thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and shalt make the hills as chaff.
And straight to the point. I shall make thee a new sharp threshing instrument to thresh the mountains. Again, those mountains are talking about these different governments of the heathens, and we have faith in these things. And we prophesy and we pray on these things. And again, By us doing that, the Most High is keeping up his end of the bargain and bringing these things to pass right before our very eyes.
God.
Which, before we get that in Samuel, could you get me Sirach 35, verses 16 to 19? Because as it said back in that Matthew 21, verse 22, I don't want to paraphrase it. Matthew 21 and 22. And all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing, ye shall receive. And these are things brothers constantly pray on. The end of this economy, so brothers don't have to go to these back-breaking jobs anymore. The collapse of this society, you know, the coming of the spiritual powers, the coming of YAHAWASHI, and salvation. And as it's about to say in Sirach 35, the power of prayer, it pierces the clouds, and Yahweh hears it and makes good on it. Pray and ye shall receive.
God, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 35, verse 16. He that serveth Yahweh shall be accepted with favor, and his prayer shall reach unto the clouds.
Straight to the point. He that serveth Yahweh, being faithful, believing in the words of Yahweh bahasham YAHAWASHI, and showing his works, because he has faith that by doing the works, what? He shall be saved, and these prophecies shall come to their fulfillment.
It says, the prayer of the humble pierceth the clouds, until it come nigh, he will not be comforted, and will not depart, till the Most High shall behold the judge righteously and execute judgment.
Our prayers, you know, to you sincere Akim and Akwat out there, they're piercing the clouds, and we've got sure evidence of it by seeing these prophecies come to their fulfillment right before our very eyes. Everything we've had faith in and believing in these scriptures is taking place as we speak. And as it said, he will not be comforted and will not depart till the Most High shall behold to judge righteously and execute judgment. We're going to keep having faith in Yahweh bahasham YAHAWASHI. You know, Lord willing, the Spirit isn't taken from us. We're going to keep having faith, going out and prophesying and praying, until the Most High executed judgment. And we see that the Most High is executing judgment. And that's just even more of a faith booster to make us pray and prophesy even more to hasten that day.
Verse 18, it says, for Yahweh will not be slack, neither will the mighty be patient toward them, till he have smitten in sunder the loins of the unmerciful, and repaid vengeance to the heathen.
Son of man, prophesy against Mount Seir and say that, you know, for that perpetual hatred you had against the children of Israel, what? Ye shall be made desolate. Your mountain shall be cast down, and your entire nation is going to be cut off. Your rulership is going to be destroyed.
It says, smitten in asunder the loins of the unmerciful, and repay vengeance to the heathen, till he have taken away the multitude of the proud, and broken the scepter of the unrighteous.
Broken the scepter, or what? The rulership. The mountains, or the government of the unrighteous, which we are clearly seeing. As another good point brothers always bring up, say we would have did this back 60 years ago. 60 years ago, we wouldn't even have been able to come into this little area without, you know, the cops hemming you up, or, you know, you getting killed by a lynch mob. But here we are, standing in the thick of Esau's, you know, fatness, prophesying his downfall, having Edomites walk by, look at us, hear, and gasp, but not able to do a goddamn thing about it.
Nothing they can do.
For we can do nothing against the truth before the truth. And what does it say in Acts chapter 5? If this were of men, then it would come to naught. But if it were of the Most High, we can do nothing against it. Esau, Edom can't do anything against this word. And we know that the famine of the word is coming, but that's also a part of prophecy. We can do nothing against the truth but for it. By Esau, first and foremost, getting the go-ahead, you know, from the Most High to find, you know, through Satan, through the left hand, to finally roll on us. That's a decree from the Most High to cut off the word and to bring in the next phase of prophecy.
Yeah, the kingdom can't come if we're still prophesying about the kingdom coming. At some point, the ministry has to end. At some point, there has to be a famine of the word. At some point, Esau has to roll on the men of the Lord. That's part of the story. That's why the brother said, you know, he quoted the scripture, we can't do nothing against the truth before the truth. The more Esau tries to destroy prophecy, the more he fulfills it. The more he tries to destroy the elect, the more he confirms who the elect are. And that just boosts our faith. And that faith is moving this mountain. That's why in Revelation, 12 and 12, it tells you he's going to come down because he knows that he has a short time. How does he know he has a short time? Because we're bringing out the word. This is moving a mountain. You got it?
The more he tries to hide who the true Israelites are, the more it comes out.
Yeah.
The more he tries to push who the fake Israelites are, the more they get exposed.
Yeah.
But you read verse 19.
Okay. Verse 19, it says, till he have rendered to every man according to his deeds, and to the works of men according to their devices, till he have judged the cause of his people, and made them to rejoice in his mercy.
Hey, till he have judged the cause of his people and made them to rejoice in his mercy. And that's what we're praying on day in and day out. And the Most High is going to make good on it. Punish the wicked and, bring salvation to his people, that they may rejoice in his mercy. And what? Live in eternal righteousness and peace in the ultimate mountain, as the brother brought out in that Micah 4, the mountain that's going to be above all other mountains and hills, the kingdom of heaven. And we're going to get this quick account in 1 Samuel 17. You can start at 42 and read to 47, just to show the power in the faith and the prayer that our forefathers had in the past, and how the Most High, got them out of dire situations. And before we get that, this is what it says in Sirach chapter 2 verse 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in Yahweh and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? And with this account we're about to get of King David and Goliath, hey, King David wasn't forsaken by Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, nor was he confounded by Goliath. The Most High gave Goliath into his hands, while the rest of the nation under King Saul at that time was terrified at it. Because what? They lacked faith. Just as the house of Saul today, these Israelites that know that they're Israelites, but are carnal minded and don't preach the true doctrine, don't have faith in Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI. That's why they get 501c3s and try to make a kingdom within Esau's kingdom. They don't have faith that this place is going to be destroyed, that they're going to be saved in the names of YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, and the kingdom of heaven is going to come.
God. You wanted the 2 Samuel 17, start at 14?
42.
2 Samuel 17?
Oh, 1 Samuel 17, Baba
okay.
Kasha.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, kind.
That new Bible got
Yeah. I got a new sword, so I'm, learning to wield this one.
This is 1 Samuel 17, verse 42. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was but a youth and ruddy and of fair countenance. And
David was a young man. He was a ruddy youth. He was young. He looked, had a vibrant looking, just a teenage boy pretty much, compared to Goliath, who was a great warrior who had been battle tested.
Yeah.
And this was David's first war. So when Goliath saw the whole nation of Israel, scared before him, and then saw this youth come up, he's like, is this a joke?
Yeah.
Like, are you being serious? Just how these people look at us right now.
Yeah.
These niggas on the block wearing dresses. You're a nigger. You saying you're an Israelite? You're saying we're going into slavery? Look at America.
Yeah.
We're never going to go down.
Yeah. The Persians said the same thing. The Romans said the same thing. The Egyptians said the same thing. That's that pride. It says, and the Philistine said unto David, am I a dog, that thou comest to me with staves? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. As these
elites, curse us by their gods. They go to their left-handed powers, their daily prognosticators, their witches and warlocks, to try to, curse us and our power to try to stop this word from going out. But they're seeing what? That it's not working. Hence, how you quoted in that Revelation 12 verse 12, he's going to have to come down in great wrath. Esau's not going to be subtle anymore. He's going to go for what he knows, wielding that sword.
God, it says, and the Philistine said to David, come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air and to the beasts of the field.
Keep going.
Then said David to the Philistine, thou comest to me with a sword and with a spear and with a shield, but I come unto thee in the name of Yahawah, the Lord of hosts, the power of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied.
And that's what brothers always say. Hey, Esau's got the military. He's got he got the troops. He's got the guns. He's got the satellites. To a carnal-minded person, you would think, how are we going to get past this guy? But what did David tell Goliath? You come with sword and spear and shield, but I come in the name of Yahawah, the power of the armies of Israel. And that's exactly what we're coming into. And David had 144% faith that believing in Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, that what? He would overcome this uncircumcised Philistine, just as we're going to overcome this uncircumcised Edomite.
Con. We keep going.
Con.
It says, "This day will Yahweh deliver thee into mine hand, and I will smite thee, and take thine head from thee, and I will give the carcasses of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air, and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a power in Israel."
Hey, David was about that business, and as it's about to go into, he handled Goliath and said, "I will smite thy head." And what did it say in Genesis? Hey, the serpent shall smite the woman's heel, but the children of the woman shall bruise his head,
Yeah.
which is exactly what we're doing right now. We're bruising Esau's head spiritually, going into the gates of the nobles, prophesying against him, prophesying against his kingdom and these everyday Edomites, and then it's going to get physical when we become that sharp threshing instrument to thresh these mountains.
God. It says, "And all this assembly shall know that Yahweh saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is Yahweh's, and he will give you into our hands."
Hey, if you have faith as this little mustard seed, you shall be able to move mountains. Now let's see what the faith of David in Yahawah bahasham YAHAWASHI brought him. You can jump down to verse 50 and read 51, Baba Kasha.
God. "So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone."
Hey, as we're about to get into, that great millstone.
God.
David took a stone and cast it into the forehead of Goliath, and it said it sunk into his forehead.
God. It says, "And smote the Philistine and slew him, but there was no sword in the hand of David." Which we have a sword. We don't have a physical sword. That's Esau's blessing. We have a spiritual sword. It says, "Therefore David ran and stood upon the Philistine, and took his sword and drew it out of the sheath thereof, and slew him, and cut off his head therewith. And when the Philistines saw their champion was dead, they fled."
And that's exactly what's about to happen to Esau Edom. We're spiritually tearing this man down, and then what? Then that physical part comes where the fishers of men are going to become hunters. Hey, and when that happens, hey, not even a dog shall move their tongue against Israel. But the main point is what? David had faith in Yahawah bahasham YAHAWASHI that he would back him in fighting against Goliath, and that's exactly what happened. No different with us. We're the house of David going against this modern day Goliath, Esau Edom.
And our rock is Yahawashi,
Our Khan.
our chief cornerstone. You got it?
Khan. I got two more. Next one we're going to get is Daniel chapter 2, verses 42 to 45, which, this is going into the vision that King Nebuchadnezzar of, the Neo-Babylonian Empire had of that statue of a man made with different metals, which represented the different heathen kingdoms that would rule before the final kingdom, the final mountain being raised up, the kingdom of heaven.
God. This is Daniel chapter 2 and
42.
Sorry, 2?
Khan. You can start.
42.
Yeah, I got. You got a light?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
This is Daniel chapter 2, verse 42. It says, "And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken."
And this is the last leg of that statue, those iron toes mixed with miry clay. This NATO EU system that the US is at the head of, the reincarnated Roman Empire.
God. It says, "And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay."
And them being mingled with the seeds of men is these other heathen nations, in confederation with Esau, as it says in Psalms 83, the different heathens that have come to cut us off from being a nation. Everybody is about to go down, and the only one fighter is going to remain, and that's going to be Yasharallah.
God. It says, "And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever."
Khan, read verse 45.
"For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it brake in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great power have made known, to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain. The dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure.
And hey, that kingdom that's about to be established is the kingdom of Yasharallah, what Yahawah, YAHAWASHI at the head of it. And YAHAWASHI is that great stone, that great millstone that's going to shatter this statue that was made of gold and silver and brass and the iron mixed with miry clay.
God.
And last,
Revelation 18?
yeah, Revelation 18, I think 22.
God. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 18.
Oh, 21.
Chapter 18, verse 21. And the mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall the great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all.
Straight to the point. And I'm going to precept that back in Matthew 21 and 21. YAHAWASHI answered and said unto them, and YAHAWASHI is that great millstone,
God.
and he's saying, Verily I say unto you, if ye have faith and doubt not, ye shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree, but also if ye shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, it shall be done. What does it say back in that 18 and 21? And the mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, With great violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down. So you know, this mountain of Esau's, you know, in its chief stronghold, America or Babylon, is going to be taken and cast into the sea, you know, but broken to pieces by that great millstone.
God, that's beautiful. Those two precepts back to back is like, what can you say?
And it's YAHAWASHI speaking in the Matthew 21 that we opened it up with.
Red letters.
And what did YAHAWASHI say that we've been going into with this lesson? If ye have faith as much as this small mustard seed, ye shall be able to not only move mountains, but cast them into the sea. And you know, prayer, and ye shall receive these things. We've been prophesying and praying on these things, and we are seeing them come to pass right before our very eyes. We are in the last seconds of this thing. So hey, to you sincere Akim and Akwat out there, as we always tell you, now is not the time to be getting weak. You should have all 10 toes down in the truth of Yahawah bahasham YAHAWASHI, doing whatever you can to stay faithful, and you know, hope to be of that elect number and be saved, and to see, you know, this mountain, Babylon, Esau, Edom's rulership as a whole, be cast into the sea and be nothing, and our mountain be established forever.
God.
Yeah, any closing points you want to make?
No, that's it. That's beautiful.
Con. Hey, so with that, we hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified by this lesson. And again, as always, we're going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. Ababa Ball.
Ababa Ball.
Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah.
Shalawam.
Shalawam.